Hey, it's Travel Gigolo, and this is a review of one of our epic trips through South Africa, Namibia and Botswana. We stayed at various places along the way, so at the bottom of the screen you'll see there's a list of the individual episodes, so if you want a bit more information on any one of those areas, then just click on the relevant link. Getting a 3-week epic trip together requires a considerable amount of planning and prepping. So, with some assistance from my significant other, all the supplies together, all the right things on the vehicle, it was time to head off. So day one, early start in the morning, and we were on our way to what would prove to be a fantastic adventure. Our first significant stop along the way was at Witstrand to see these famous sand dunes in the Northern Cape. The Northern Cape is a vast province with all these gems, and every time we go on one of these journeys, we try and discover something new. We wish we could have stayed at Witstrand a bit longer, but our primary aim was to get to the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park. Getting to Kgalagadi is a significant drive, but it is well worth the effort. It was my first time in the park, and it is truly an amazing place. It's hot, arid, and just teeming with wildlife. This is another one of the Northern Cape's gems, and really a fantastic effort by the South African National Parks. This is the place I've been wanting to see for a very long time. I'm glad to have ticked this box, and I will definitely be back here. Kgalagadi is also a great way to enter Namibia from South Africa. The border posts are small, efficient, and quick. So from the Kgalagadi Park, we headed into Namibia and off to our first Namibian stop, which was Hardap Dam. And then we were off to Windhoek for a quick stopover. I must say I was really pleasantly surprised with the surround. It's a beautiful green mountainous area that surrounds the city. And Windhoek itself is a typical thriving city. From Windhoek it was on to Spitskoppe, back on the dust roads, quite corrugated, but let the vehicle tire pressure down and it's not too bad. Spitskoppe for me was really special. It's difficult to explain the sheer epicness of those granite mountains amongst that really flat landscape just going off into the horizon. Really beautiful place, and the sunsets and that light reflecting off the mountains, it's just really fantastic. If you're traveling to Namibia, this is really a place that you should see and experience. After a beautiful time at Spitskoppe, it was off to Henties Bay, which is on the Atlantic coast, to change our tire, and then from there get on the Salt Road and head up the Skeleton Coast. The road up to the Skeleton Coast is actually pretty awesome. It's kilometers and kilometers of really isolated, barren landscape. And as you drive along, you'll occasionally come across abandoned mines and shipwrecks that remind you just how inhospitable this area is. So we arrived at Tora Bay for a couple of days of camping and hopefully to catch some fish. The area is quite renowned for its surf fishing. When we got there, however, it was really windy over the time that we were there, and so we didn't really catch any fish. Skeleton Coast, checked in. Let's go do some fishing. But all the same, it was a really great place to chill out, and we really enjoyed it. Our first stop on the Skeleton Coast route was the Cape Cross Fur Seal Colony. So if you can hear me over all these seals, this is where as much as 200,000 seals come to shore, and they give birth, and pups are raised here before they go back out into the ocean. Extremely stinky, but definitely worth the stop. After a couple of really chill days of unsuccessful beach fishing, it was back off into the interior of Namibia, and our first route was from the Skeleton Coast out to Kamanyap. The route is all dirt road, and the landscape's really stark and so quite beautiful in that way. After a couple of hours of driving, the greenery comes back. There's a couple of mountain passes, and then we reached our campsite at Hawada. Hawada is a convenient stopover, but our real objective was to get up to the top of Namibia to the Kunene River. I've been wanting to see the Kunene River for a long time, and it was really cool. I was not disappointed. It's a relatively large river, and the environment's pretty sort of tropical, warm, quite humid, really beautiful place, and we had a lovely place to camp at Umunjandi. From the Moremi, our journey would take us eastwards along the northern border of Namibia, the objective being to get to the Okavango River and eventually drive into Botswana. The northeastern parts of Namibia are completely different to the rest of the country, whereas it's a lot of dry, arid region on the western side of the country, and in the south, the north and northeastern parts are really quite tropical. And as you drive through, there's a lot of settlements, a lot of people, relatively quite a bit of wildlife along the way as well. So we spent a couple of days fishing on the Okavango and then made our way through to Bobwata National Park with the intent of driving through there and into Botswana following the Okavango River. Bobwata National Park was really great. It was quite unexpected. I knew that the Okavango River flows through the park and that it would be really cool, but what was unexpected was how quiet it was. There were very few people running through the park, and it was a really beautiful spot. Definitely a place that I would recommend, and I will definitely be coming back there. So we basically drove through the park to Mohembo border post, which is the gate into Botswana. So from Mohembo we were driving all the way through to Maun. This road, I must warn you, is badly potholed over various stretches. It's quite difficult driving conditions, not just because of the potholes but because of the animals as well. Donkeys. So if you're going to drive that way, be warned, your average speed can come down to 20 or 30 kilometers an hour at times. So just be careful. The distance is not reflective of the amount of time it takes to drive that route. So the reason we went to Maun was to get access to the Moremi National Park through the South Gate. If you're going to visit Moremi in the rainy season, you've got to have the right vehicle. There is quite a bit of water and several deep pools to cross if you want to drive through to the South Gate. The road on the way to the South Gate is wild country, a lot of wild animals, so you've got to be careful if you get stuck. We did find one vehicle that got stuck in one of the pools and we helped to pull them out. Moremi Park is absolutely teeming with wildlife. It's a really beautiful place to visit and I highly recommend it. I definitely will be going back there to spend a longer stint. This was more just sort of a bit of a recce operation, but definitely will go back there and spend a much longer period of time. After Moremi, it was through to the Makgadikgadi pans. This is one of the largest salt flats in the world, and during the rainy season, parts of the pans fill up with water, forming a vast network of wetlands. We were there at the height of the rainy season, and this part of the trip turned into quite a challenge and possibly the most exciting part of our trip. There really is no way to describe how vast these pans are without seeing it firsthand. The routes are not well marked out, and coming here alone is quite daunting when you don't have somebody that's experienced to drive already. There's also no cell phone signal for much of the time that you're in the pans, so you can't get data and you can't get accurate maps. Due to the high water, we eventually had to ford our own way through the pans, and having run out of daylight on day 2, we were forced to spend the night out on the pans, which was quite an eerie experience, but pretty awesome. We eventually ran out of luck and got completely bogged down, but fortunately managed to call for help with the intermittent cell phone signal that we had. We got some help, got out eventually after a few hours of labor, and then it was back onto a tar road and on our way to Kama Rhino Sanctuary Park. Kama Rhino was a relatively quick stopover for us, just the one night and half a day, just driving through the park and getting to see it and enjoy it. It really is a beautiful little place and a lot to see there. From there, it was time to get back on the road, cross over into South Africa, which we did via the Stockport border post, having made it just in time before sunset. And it was great to be back home, familiar sights and sounds, and a relatively long drive back to Joburg, which is home. And that was the end of a journey which was really epic, and I really enjoyed it. And I definitely recommend that if you have the opportunity, try and visit some of those places that we've seen. Also have a look at the list at the bottom of the screen. There are a number of episodes on each of the important or significant places that we visited, and you get quite a bit more information on each of those. If you like this review, then hit the like button, click subscribe as well. Remember, there is a list of the various episodes that we did on each of the places that we visited, and you'll find a lot more information in there. But hope you enjoyed it and looking forward to our next set of episodes, so see you then.